Okay, welcome back here for video number 2 for the bouncing ball. We set up in the last video our background, which was extended out over 17 frames, and we inserted a blank keyframe at the end for our loop, and I'm going to show you how to use onion skinning here. So I'm going to go to the blank keyframe, and I'm going to turn on my onion skinning option here, down here, the leftmost one, onion skin. We'll get to the other ones later. And I'm going to drag my range back. Oh, actually, the onion skin already shows up. It picks up on that already because this frame is extended all the way out. The range only has to be 1. But just to show you how this works, as I move my playhead, I've got a range of onion skinning that can go, however many frames back you want. And you just want to get really handy and familiar with this because you'll be adjusting your onion skinning a lot. It's not something that you just set once and forget about it. You always have to adjust how far back you want to go. Sometimes you'll want to go back, like forward 1 frame and that's it. Sometimes you'll want to go back, 1 frame and that's it. So, or sometimes you want 1 and 1 or whatever you want, but just get comfortable with that. You have to move this around by clicking in those little middle ball things, and that can be a little tricky at first, so don't get too frustrated and just deal. There you go. All right, so back to this here. All I'm going to do is I'm going to draw a new frame that's exactly where the first frame is. I'm just going to draw it right on top of that so that I'll have the same thing happening at the beginning and ending, which is what you need to make a loop. So there's my drawing there. I'll turn off onion skinning and just scrub the timeline, and you can see it changed just a little bit because it's in the same place. All right. So since my middle is on 17, my total frame range is 17 frames. I need to set my midpoint, which is going to be here at frame 9, and I should have an equal amount of frames on either side. So I'm going to go here, and again, you right-click or use the pen tool button and say Insert Blank Keyframe right there, and that will shorten the range of the first frame. Okay, and so now we've got a new blank keyframe, and as I said, it shortened this range to just fit there. And now we've got this big blank spot here because there's a blank keyframe, and so there's nothing over this whole range. Then it goes to our last frame. So get in the habit of always looking up in the timeline to see what's going on so there aren't any kind of rude surprises. Now once I draw something down here, it's going to extend it automatically over this full range, so there won't just be a blank gap anymore. And as we'll see later on, sometimes you want to just have a blank here and then keep it blank, and there's a way to do that, but just want to get your attention directed up here. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is turn on onion skinning again, extend the range out so I can see both. There we go. And I'm going to just draw this on the bottom, hitting the ground here. Oh yeah. Okay. All right, and I'm going to adjust this just by using Move. And this is a good time to tell you guys how to turn off snapping. That's really not a good thing for this kind of an assignment. So I'll go over here and turn off snap to objects, and I can just turn it right back on. Sometimes you do want it on, but I'm turning it off. And there's some hidden snapping. If I go up here, well, yeah, you see that, those little dotted lines that come out when I move this around? That's called view snapping, snap align. And I don't want that on either. So view, snapping, snap align. So now it won't do anything because I want to just be able to move this completely smoothly to put these frames exactly where I want them, and I don't want Flash to try to figure out what I'm trying to do. Because it's way too complicated. I am such a mysterious and enigmatic figure. That's redundant. Okay, So now I'm going to turn off onion skinning. I've got my middle frame, I've got my beginning frame, and I've got my end frame. And I'm just going to play it by hitting return. And there's our bounce. And even though we've only got 3 frames here, it looks like a bounce. So I'll go up here to Control, Loop, Playback. And we can just see that bounce there. And that's our timing. So basically where we have our beginning and ending and middle frames will tell us a lot about how this action is timed out.